statement.
Yeah, Phyllis.
Yes.
Okay, ready?
I'm going to say yes because I think so. Excellent connection. Yeah, we're good.
Good evening, everybody. Can I have your attention? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'd like to call to order the Board of Education for the Committee of a Whole meeting on June 4th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the cafeteria at the Conover Road Primary School at 56 Conover Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. Can I kindly have a roll call, Mr. Maresca?
Yes, you may. Mrs. Cameron?
Here.
Mrs. Horowitz?
Here.
Mr. Arrico?
Here.
Mrs. Ramirez? Not present. Mr. Rignetta? Here. Mr. Scales?
Here.
Mr. Scarpa?
Here.
Mrs. Volpe?
Here.
And Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, this meeting has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press in a schedule of meetings dated January 16th, 2025, March 4th, 2025, May 21st, 2025, notice of which has been filed with the Deputy Clerk for Colts Neck Township, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. Mrs. Cameron, can you read the mission statement?
Sure. The mission of Colts Neck Township Schools is to empower and inspire students to be confident, creative, self-sufficient learners who maximize their strengths and talents and contribute as responsible participants in their ever-expanding world.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Cameron. At this time, I'd like everybody to rise for the flag salute.
And remain standing. And remain standing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I just want to remind the public that this meeting is live streamed. If we could take notice for the information items, we got one listed, and then we're going to move right on into the comments from attending constituents. At this time, if anybody would like to get up and make a statement or have a question or comment, you could do so at this time. You can take the podium. Just remember to state your name and address for the record. I'm just going to move a microphone over to the podium. Great, thank you very much. Yeah, come on up. I think it needs to be put on, yeah.
Good evening, Kevin O'Brien, 18 The Enclosure. Colts Neck Board of Education adopted the 2025-26 budget with a near zero increase in early May. So congratulations and thank you for all that you've done. But I'm not done. Goals and fiscal plan for the school board and the district include developing and implementing a funding strategy for capital improvement projects, implementing key safety and security features. Go ahead, clap for it, they deserve it. Enhancing transparency and consistent and communications. Your team shared information at the town governing body meetings. It's the first time that I've seen that done in the 25 years that I've stood before governing bodies as a representative for the people in support of transparency. So hats off to you. You take the extra effort, you bring your flyers with you, you mingle with the public, and I haven't seen that ever done before. So congratulations. The district has maintained a near zero tax increase. You've adopted well to the ever-challenging issues throughout the budgeting process, both at the state and the local levels. One such challenge was the decrease in funding from the state. As a retired senior, I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to each member of the board. As a team, you invested long hours to pull together for the residents and for the students, and I thank you for all that you do.
Great. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. I just want to reply with a comment. We do appreciate you recognizing the hard work that was put into this budget. It certainly wasn't easy. I think I publicly thanked the Finance Committee, Jason Arrico, the Finance Chair, Phyllis Camera, Brian Scarpa, and Kevin Walsh. They worked tirelessly with Dr. Mary Jane Garibay and Vince Marasco to come up with the budget. And I'm proud to say that even though we did not have any tax increase, no programs, no teachers, nothing was sacrificed to get there. So we're very proud of that, and we appreciate the public recognizing that. So thank you to the board members who achieved it, and thank you to the public for recognizing it. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. All right. Anybody else would like to come up and make a comment? Okay, we will close public comment at this time. Later on, towards the end of the meeting, we do offer another public comment, so you'll be welcome to address us at that point. Okay, I am going to ask for a motion. We have a couple of action items, 1 through 19. I'm going to ask for a motion to move those action items.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, great. Any members have any questions or comments on those 19 items? We'd like to recognize Jessica Ramirez joining us. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. If there's no questions or comments, can I get a roll call on those action items?
Yes, you may. Mrs. Cameron,
Yes.
Mrs. Horowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Arrico,
Yes.
Mrs. Ramirez. Thank you. Mr. Rugnetta,
Yes.
Mr. Scales,
Yes.
Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe,
Yes.
Mr. Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passed unanimously.
Okay, we are going to move on to the best part of this evening's Board of Education meeting. The Board of Education is honored to have all of you here tonight to celebrate all these wonderful achievements that have been done by our students. I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Garibay so we can proceed with the awards. Thank you.
So we know how to fill a house for a board meeting, and that is certainly with having children here. So thank you for allowing this opportunity. Tonight we have our spring celebration of students, student learning, student accomplishment, and some very special distinguished guests for 2025 Governor's Award recipients for Colts Neck. That being said, celebrations happened every single day. And whether it's today, tomorrow, it was yesterday, or in years to come, know that we celebrate every single one of our students and all that you do each and every day. But tonight is your special night, and tonight we are going to be recognizing some students who we feel are definitely, certainly worthy of recognition at this point in time for their special achievements. And so to move forward with that, our first presenter this evening is our principal, Tricia Barr, who is principal at Conover Road Elementary School, who will be presenting this year's 2025 Principal Award to our second graders. If Mrs. Volpe would join me at the podium.
Well, you know, at the primary school, we are always a team, so I also want to introduce my right hand, Mrs. Mary Milano, our assistant principal. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Garibay and President Volpe and Vice President Camera and all members of our Board of Education, because tonight I get the pleasure of introducing you to some of Colts Neck's finest second grade students. These children are going to be presented tonight with the Principal's Award. And so our children have asked us repeatedly, well, what did I do? Did I get a perfect score on a test? Did I do something specific to get this award? And I have to tell you, friends, it's not any one thing that you did. Your names came to our attention by your grade level teachers, your related arts teachers, Mrs. Milano and myself, Mrs. Riggleman. And you are here today because of everything you are and all that you do and what you bring to Conover Road Primary School. Every single day, you show that you are caring and you genuinely want to try your best. Every single day, you challenge yourself to try to achieve new goals. Every day, you are a Colt, and you know what that means, right? C means you are. O, you are. L, you are. And T, you. That's right, you are caring, on task leaders who try your best every single day. And that is why you have been nominated to be selected as our Principal Award winners. Now, moms and dads, I'm going to try to shed a little bit more light on why they are here. Among this group of children today, we are going to be introducing you to those that are creative artists, caring classmates, and always engaged learners. You are going to meet, although I'm not going to point out by name, one child here who started kindergarten as an incredibly reluctant reader, was afraid to read and would even say, I'm never going to learn to read, and would cry about it. That child worked every single day with her parents, with her teachers, and now is the child who has grown in the most amount of reading levels of all of the children at the primary school. In this group are several children. Raise your hand if you are a kickball player at recess. Yeah. So what makes that group of children who are especially extraordinary, you can put your hands down now, is we introduced kickball right after we returned from spring break. And we encouraged all of the kids to play. And one of the things that was so impressive about this particular group of students is we have one child in second grade with very specific learning and physical needs. And these children all took on the role of being coaches and cheerleaders and encouraging him to play. And he got up to the plate and he kicked, and it went pretty far. And he was so proud of himself that he immediately ran to third base. Well, one of the children, again, I'm not going to say who, but one of the children that's here being recognized tonight looked at the pride in his classmate with special needs face, and he said to all of his teammates that are on the field, he's like, hey guys, that counts. That was such a good kick. That was going to be a triple anyway. It counts. And every one of the children, they were like, you're right. And they all agreed. And from that day and every day after that, when they choose teams at recess, that child is always the first one picked. So that's this group of children. You are also going to meet one of my friends who didn't see herself as a strong math student. And so every single Monday morning, she got to school about 45 minutes before her peers and founded a math group and worked really hard and with competence in math, and now is really showing incredible strength and confidence. So you could probably tell, I can go on and on about each and every one of these children and tell lots of stories about them. But to save you all from having to listen to too many stories, I'm going to present to you the Principal's Awards with the 3 adjectives that the teachers and teammates have indicated. So these are the 3 adjectives that were used the most frequently. So friends, when you hear your name, I want you to stand up. We're going to tell our friends that are joining us all of the wonderful things about you, and then you are going to receive your certificate from President Volpe. Deal? All right, our very first Principal's Award winner is Gabriel Amador. Gabriel, you have been selected for this recognition because you are sincere, you are empathetic. Do you know what that means? It means you're extra caring, and you are motivated to learn. Congratulations. Okay. All right, Quinn Brown. Quinn Brown, you are here today, and we recognize you for being compassionate, respectful, and intelligent. Kate Coppola. Look at that smile. I love it. Kate, you are here because you are determined, you are kind-hearted, and you are always interested and curious. Congratulations. Gerard DeBernardis. Do Mrs. Milano and I have the best job or what? Gerard, you are here because you are confident, you are patient, and you are known to all of your teammates, all of your teachers, as being a leader in all that you do. Congratulations. Francesca DiStefano. Francesca, we recognize you this evening for being reliable, inquisitive, and collaborative. Joseph DiMuzio. Joseph, we are so proud of you, and we recognize you for being thoughtful, for always being a hard worker, and for always being so attentive and respectful in class. Thank you. J.R. Fabosi. J.R., you are being recognized this evening for being involved, for being eager to help, and for being a rule follower. Matthew Gaglio. Matthew, your teachers and team here at Conover Road Primary School want to thank you and recognize you for being a friend to everyone, for being caring and always being motivated. Great job, Matthew. Genevieve Galetta. Genevieve, you are here today because your teachers and the office team have described you as somebody who is always a Colt, someone who is always caring, on task, a leader who tries her best. You have a big heart, and you are known as an upstander. Do you know what that means? No, good. AJ Molinaro. AJ, we want to thank you for being a leader by your great example every day. We describe you don't even know this, as our one-man school spirit squad, and that you are laser focused on doing your best. Congratulations, AJ. Mackenzie Moniz. Mackenzie, we love that you are independent, you are spunky, and you are fearless. Dylan Ludina Nolasco. Dylan, your teachers and I would like to recognize you because you are always positive, you are a role model, and you are an attentive listener. Thank you. Christian Orico. Christian, you have been selected for this recognition because you are enthusiastic, you are creative, and you are always encouraging to others. Wyatt Penix. Wyatt, we recognize you for giving 100% effort 100% of the time. You are helpful and you have a heart of gold. Paxton Ryder. Paxton, we present you with this Principal's Award because you are friendly, you are understanding, and you always bring the joy to everything that we do at the primary school. Michelina Sanfilippo. Michelina, you are being recognized because we know that you are always trustworthy, you are capable, and you are determined. Hazel Silva. Hazel, you have a cheering squad here. Say hi. Hazel, we recognize you this evening because you are competent, you are courageous, and you are also a calming influence on all the crazy that sometimes happens in second grade. So we thank you for that. Thank you. Megan Watts. Megan, tonight we recognize you for being motivated, for being smart, and always reliable. Marielle Wickberg. Marielle, we thank you for what you've brought to the Conover Road Primary School, and we recognize you for always being clever, mature, and adaptable. And last but not least, Savannah Zielinski. This young lady keeps me on my toes. She dreams big, big dreams that we have to rein in a lot. But her biggest effort actually is going to be on Monday, right? And what are we doing on Monday? We're bringing desserts around the entire school for teachers because Savannah wants to thank all of her teachers for all of the amazing things that they have done for her, and she has made sure that we have a pretty large group of second graders that are all dressing up for the occasion as waiters and waitresses so that we can thank the teachers. So Savannah, we recognize you for being grateful, for being genuine, and for being caring.
Mrs. Barr, Mrs. Milano, thank you so much. We're going to do a photo op. So if we could kind of keep our students, our winners, in front of the table. If board members, if you would stand up to have your picture taken with the award winners, and you can take all the pictures you want. If you want, this is our big group of second grade award winners, principal award winners. So if you could just, yeah, you get behind the dais, behind it. Yeah, stay behind, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Sounds good. Yep.
No. Okay. Everyone's got their pictures? Okay, if our students could have our seats, board members take your seats. Mrs. Volpe, we're going to move into Cedar Drive Middle School, and I'm going to invite Principal Dr. Colin Rigby to the podium, who's going to introduce our third marking period high honor roll. But before we do that, we're also going to welcome Mrs. Hope D'Elia, who will be announcing our participants in our Continental Math League Challenge. Dr. Rigby.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much to the Board of Education. We appreciate Dr. Garibay, Mr. Marasco, Mrs. Volpe. Thank you so much for having us tonight. What a great night. Congratulations to Mrs. Barr, Ms. Milano, and our 20 outstanding second graders. We can't wait to see you at Cedar Drive Middle School. So congratulations to you for your outstanding accomplishments. Very good. Tonight we have an opportunity to celebrate excellence in the classroom. And before we announce our students, I'm very proud to introduce a teacher that spearheads some very, I think, exceptional competitions at Cedar Drive. So I'm going to ask Mrs. D'Elia to join us. So Mrs. D'Elia has a very unique role. She's our math interventionist at Cedar Drive, where she's working with students that may struggle or have some obstacles or challenges with math. And then she also runs programs and competitions for our high flyers in mathematics. So she really sees a wide spectrum each day. If you visit room 50, what you will see is you will see energy, okay? You will see a lot of care, sometimes some yelling, and the yelling comes because Mrs. D'Elia is a former collegiate athlete, and it feels like game day every day. And the kids know that she holds them to a very high standard, but she is their biggest cheerleader. So to Mrs. D'Elia, we thank you for all of your efforts to celebrate our students, to work with them. And now I'd like to turn it over to her for some recognitions.
Thank you, Dr. Rigby. He tries to make me cry before I step up and speak in front of all of you. Okay, congratulations, little ones. That was fantastic. We can't wait to see you at our school. Yes? Okay. So I run 2 math competitions through the year. There is the Continental Math League. That is a series of 5 tests that are run through November to March. There's 1 test per month. It consists of 6 questions, and the students get 30 minutes to complete this test. The questions range in difficulty. From the first couple questions are pretty easy, more computation-based. They're a little easier. They can answer them a little quicker. And then as they progress into questions 3, 4, 5, and 6, they're definitely a little bit more challenging. Again, they consist of computation skills, logic, there's reasoning, spatial awareness, geometry. They're very difficult questions, and they definitely make the students think. So I have kids that stay until I'm counting down the last 10 seconds, and then I have some kids that finish in 10 minutes. So it's very interesting to see how they think, their perseverance, their level of effort. Some of them, I watch them, I like to walk around. There's like 80 students in the cafeteria with just me, and it's coordinated very well. They're very well behaved, but I always like to walk around and watch them do these questions. So it's interesting to see how their minds work. So we have, with the Continental Math League, like I said, there are 5 tests. Each one is worth 6 points. And then I display the names of the top scorers in each of those 6 tests. So the 6th graders take the 6th grade test, 7th graders, 7th grade. The 8th grade test is taken by all of my 8th graders and the 7th grade students that are in advanced algebra. And then the 9th grade test is given to the students that are in geometry. So I have the top score recipients, those got the top scorers for each of these levels. So I'm going to start with the 6th grade. So there's possible 30 points. Now this is also a test that is given nationally. So it is given across the country. There are 6 or 7 regions depending on the numbers they get for each test. So some of our older kids, they placed very well, so I'll get to that in a second. So for my 6th grade, and I saw a lot of students, but I don't know who all is here. So if they're not here, then we'll just, okay. So with 17 total points was Alexandra Edwards and Sanchi Sundai. With 20 total points in the 6th grade was Gianna Nicholson. Doesn't look like she's here. 21 total points was Zachary Dunn. And again, this is out of a total of 30 possible points, and these questions are not easy. So my 6th graders I give a lot of credit to because they walk into the cafeteria, 80 students and me. And like Dr. Rigby said, I can sometimes be a little overwhelming. And they walk in and they're looking at me and I'm like, find your color, find your table, let's get going. And they really do, they kill it. I'm very proud of my 6th graders. 2nd place for the school with 22 points was Austin Palantonio. Oh, he's here. Good job, bud. And then in 1st place for the 6th grade, she only got 3 problems wrong out of all 5 tests. She scored a total of 27 points. I don't know if I saw her, is Mackenzie Huang. Yes, she killed it. She did awesome. Okay, moving into my 7th grade with a total of 16 points. There was 3 students that got 16 points. Jillian DeSalvatore, Michael Shapiro, and AJ Goganzer. Good job, kiddo. Good job. Awesome job, AJ. Good job, bud. 17 total points was Mackenzie Ziobro. Oh, she's there. She's in the back. Yep, there she comes. Good job, Mackenzie. Good job, kiddo. With 18 points in 2nd place was Parthi Eskandar. Oop. Good job, kiddo. And in 1st place for the 7th grade, Alexander Morfino. He had 20 points. Good job, bud. Good job, kiddo. Okay, 8th grade. Now, some of these are seventh graders because they take the eighth grade test because they're in advanced algebra. So with 17 points, we have quite a few. Eighth grader Layla Duprex. Nope, she's not here. Eighth grader Malik Goma. Seventh grader Austin Klein. I saw him. Seventh grader Addison Lynham. She's here. So Addie's in seventh grade, taking an eighth grade test. You got 17 points. Nice job, kiddo. And Colin Winkleman. Do you want us to bring it to you?
Battling through.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good job, bud. Just a little knee surgery, no big deal. Good job. Yep. Second place for the eighth grade with 18 points, Sophia Sika. Good job, Soph. And in first place, seventh grader Daniel Shapiro. I don't think they're here. And then my two ninth graders that we had, second place was 18 points was Reagan Quigley. She's here. Oh, I didn't see her. You snuck in. I didn't see you. So Reagan's done the test with me, well, 3 years, right? Yep. Awesome job, Reg. And in first place, is Parker here? Parker Churn? Well, Parker got first place, 19 points. He also was a regional winner. So we are in Region 6 in the nation. Like I said, this is a national test. He tied with two other students in Region 2 for first place. So he actually, I mean, that's fantastic. It's New York, New Jersey. I don't remember if Pennsylvania's in there, but he tied for first place. So that's an awesome job by Parker. And then the second competition that I run is called the AMC 8. It's the American Mathematics Competition. It's called the AMC 8 because it's a test that assesses anything from 8th grade down. So all 3 grade levels are welcome to participate in it. So I have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that partake in this test. So my 6th graders have a little bit of disadvantage, as do the 7th grade, because there are 8th grade concepts that are assessed on this test. So I do try to tell the kids that when they come to me, and I'm no pressure, do your best. I try to, pep them, give them a pep talk. So a lot of them take this test and they do very well. This one is a little bit harder. It's 25 questions. They're all multiple choice, and they get 40 minutes to take it. These questions are tough. I mean, I always take all the tests just to make sure if they have questions, I'm able to answer them. And this test was really, really challenging. So I do want to recognize, we had 4 students that scored in the top 25% for this test, and there were almost 60,000 students that took this test. So we had, most of them are up here, well, yeah, so Addison Lynham. No, I read this wrong. So 80,000 students took this test. Addie did better than 60,000 of those people. 7th grade. Austin Klein, I don't think he's here. Yes, he also did better than 60,000 students. Paula Kozix. Also a 7th grader. So these students got, I believe it was 14? Did you get 14 out of 25 right? Do you remember? I think so too. 14 questions out of 25. Good job, kiddo. Awesome job. And Daniel Shapiro, who's also not here, he actually got 16 out of 25, also a 7th grader. So, like I said, very, very proud of these students. They did an amazing job. Yeah, one more round of applause for all of them that are here. Yeah. So you guys want to come up? We'll take a photo.
If we could just have the board members rise, we'll have our picture up. We're just next to it. We're next to it. Let's have one more round of applause for our competitive math students who make us so proud. Way to go. Okay, you can take your seats now. And Dr. Rigby's going to continue with our third marking period high honor roll recipients. Dr. Rigby.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Garibay. So for high honor roll at Cedar Drive, that recognizes all the students that received a 93 or better in all of their coursework. So one thing that I think that's important to recognize is middle school is not easy. And I think these students should really be, celebrated tonight because not only are they contributing to our school community, but they're also working so hard in the classroom. I know I speak on behalf of their teachers, okay, how proud we are of them, and we'd like to recognize first our 6th grade students who received high honor roll. Skylar Graves. Alexandra Hormica. Mackenzie Huang. Audrey Capadia. Irene Lee. Elizabeth Rumsby. No. Oh, there's Irene. Yeah. All right, Irene. Good job, Irene. Good job. Good job, Irene. Yeah. We did Elizabeth, right? Charlie Sabatino. As Charlie is coming up, we also want to recognize Charlie received an Outstanding Jazz Soloist Award at this recent Hershey Park Music in the Parks. So Charlie, well done. Giovanna Centenary. Sanchi Sondi. And Michaela Staddle. Good job. No. Hey, Michaela, great job. You can just stay up here. Our 7th graders who received high honor roll for marking period 3, Jack Barone. Here we can have Vice President Camera join us here. Jonas Camera. Good job, Jonas. Parthi Iskander. You have to step here. Thanks, Mr. Cameron. Here's Parthi. Good job, Parthi. Caitlin Friend. Paula Kosick. Addison Lynham. Paula first, and then yeah. Good job, Paula. Jolie Magro. Alex Morfino. Brielle Resnick. Lila Setti. Lila's here. We know he's going here. Good job, Lila. Daniel Shapiro. Michael Shapiro. Avery Tan. No, you. Put up there, Kev. Oh, Kev. Good point. We'll do both.
Giovanna Walsh.
Oh, I got that one. Giovanna Walsh.
Proud Good job, G.
Very nice that she gave it to you. Yeah. Good job, Gia. Here, you guys can take a picture. Good job. Cooper Wilcox. Reagan Yale. Good Ray, yeah. And Mackenzie Ziabro. Hey, Ray, good job. Proud of you. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. Good job, Mackenzie. And our 8th graders who received high honor roll for marking period 3, Reese Adams. Liliana Nicholson. Samantha Picatrello. There's Sam. Yeah, Sam's here. Good job, Sam. Autumn Reinach. Valentina Rodriguez. Larissa Skiaka. Hey, Val, good job. And Isabel Tuminelli. Is good job. You have Izzy? Izzy, yeah. Good job, Izzy. Congratulations to all of our high honor roll. We're very proud of you. If we could just do a photo op, so just stay there for 1 sec.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Volpe, did you want to say something? Did you want to speak? Or after?
that?
Did you want to speak or after?
Yeah, I was just going to say a quick thank you. So if the kids can have a seat really quick. Oh, okay. Well, if I say something, then you think I want to. No, I'll say something else. Okay, we're going to be honoring our Teachers of the Year Award, but I just want to, I see some kids leaving. I just want to thank all the children who received awards tonight. I know it's not easy achieving these grades. It's a lot of hard work and dedication, and we want to let you know that this Board of Education is so very proud of you and all your accomplishments, so thank you very much.
Okay, each year we have the distinct honor and pleasure of participating in the Governor's Educator of the Year recognition program. It's a nomination process by your peers, by members of your community, and all the things that go into that. And I'm so proud and honored to be presenting this year's 2025 recipients for the Colts Neck Township Schools. These are selected by a panel that is part of board member involvement, community involvement, administrator involvement, and I wish I could make a book of all the things, the wonderful things that people say about you that bring you forward as recipients of winners, as being winners. Each year, recipients are honored by, not just at the district level at board meetings, but also at the Monmouth County Superintendent's Roundtable, and we celebrate each recipient from every school and school district in celebration of all that you do to support our students. So it is with great honor, if Mr. Marasco, where's Mr. Marasco? Okay, so first we're going to talk about Conover Road Primary School. So I'm going to speak for a minute about Linda Weigel, who couldn't be here tonight. She had another family, she had a conflict this evening. But if you walk through the hallways, I don't know, tomorrow night, tonight, or different things like that, or if you've ever walked through the hallways of Conover Road Primary School during the Evening of the Arts or the Conover Road Primary School Art Show, you can see the impression that she makes on our young artists is evident where they go. From drawing shapes to recognizing dimensions, color palettes, all of the things. She doesn't just teach art, she inspires artists. I am so proud and honored to have Mrs. Weigel as part of our staff at Conover Road Primary School, and not just that as a school, but she is a presence that is felt for over 30 years in this district in education, and we are so blessed to have her each and every day interacting with our students and introducing them to art and hopefully going on and inspiring future artists. So please join me in congratulating, she couldn't be here, but publicly I wanted to recognize Mrs. Linda Weigel, the 2025 Conover Road Primary School Teacher of the Year. So sometimes you get asked the question as a superintendent, what is an instructional assistant? You know, because in my district or other places they call them paraprofessionals or they call them assistants or whatever the case may be. I call them gifts. I call them gifts to the students that they work with, the community that they serve, the team of people that they work with, all for the purpose of supporting a child. That's what they do. That is their role. They support students with disabilities, and depending upon whatever the plan calls for, the supports that are needed, above and beyond, communication with teacher, communication with parents, so on and so forth. So it is no surprise, and I don't want to give away any secrets, all three of our education service professionals selected for 2025 are instructional assistants. And that is a testament to the work, not only that you do, but that is recognized each and every day by your peers, by the parents, by your administrators. So all of that said, it is my pleasure to present the 2025 Education Services Professional of the Year for Conover Road Primary School, Mrs. Karen Beyer. Okay, moving on to Conover Road Elementary School. So once again, as you can see, a theme for the night, it is my honor, as we continue to talk about the role of instructional assistants, it's not just about what they do in the classroom, it's what they do outside of the classroom, whether they're helping someone in a cafeteria, whether they're walking someone to and from class, whether they're running a lunch back and forth because a student forgot it. Above and beyond is how I like to describe instructional assistants, and that is exactly how I would describe Mrs. Ellen Hannon, who is the 2025 Education Service Professional of the Year. Teachers of the Year, I wish we could give 125 Teachers of the Year because each and every year there's ways that we can recognize. But when I have the pleasure of sitting in a classroom and watching someone that I had the pleasure of hiring a few years ago and sitting and watching the growth and the way that you continue to inspire your students and be eager for feedback and how to improve and what can I do differently to reach my students, it not only makes me proud of the work that you do, it makes me proud of you. And so with sincerest appreciation for all that you do and all that you are each and every day for your students, it is my honor to present Mrs. Shannon Eisenman, the 2025 Conover Road Elementary School Teacher of the Year. I can still go on about what instructional assistants do. And Mrs. Felicia Latrenta, who is the Education Service Professional of the Year at Cedar Drive Middle School, is an instructional assistant and a very, very proud as well as valued member of the Cedar Drive community. When I'm preparing for these things, I may or may not reach out to the principal, and here's Dr. Rigby says, give me a word you would say about Felicia Latrenta. Love her. That was what he said. And it's not, it is about you, but it's also what you do and the care and the love that you bring to your child that you are, working with each and every day. And we are so grateful for everything that you do every day to make a difference in the life of the children that you work with. So it's my honor to present Mrs. Felicia Latrenta, the 2025 Education Professional Service of the Year. You're welcome. So I'm going to mirror what Mrs. Barr did, and when it comes to our Teacher of the Year at Cedar Drive Middle School, I'm going to use 3 words that I know to describe Mrs. Carrie Sullivan. Colorful tutus, right, that light up, may or may not light up, passion for literature and language arts, and caring and compassion for every child you work with. I would not be lying. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy over the past 12 years working with you, that talking about Shakespeare, talking about all the things that we love about teaching literature to kids and introducing them to the world that comes to life through literature is, I would be lying because I have enjoyed every moment of that. And it is no doubt and no surprise to me, but it is my honor to present the 2025 Teacher of the Year at Cedar Drive Middle School, Ms. Carrie Sullivan. Can we stand in front of the board? Can we stand in front of the board? If we do one more photo in front of the board, that would be great. Thank you. Yeah, a little tight. Oh, sorry. Get in?
Yeah. Good job, everyone.
Thank you, and thank you to the members of the Board of Education for taking the opportunity to recognize our students and staff this year. We are a very proud school community, and we always work very hard to make the community proud, the board proud, ourselves proud, but most importantly, to work to make the difference in the lives of children each and every day. So thank you for taking this opportunity to recognize our students and staff this evening. Much appreciated. And that concludes our presentation portion of the evening.
Great. At this time, before we move on to the cow portion of our meeting, everybody is welcome to stay, but if you would like to exit at this time, you're welcome to do so. And we're going to go right into the meeting. We're not going to have a long break. No. There will be no recess. We're just going to give everybody time to decide if they're staying or not. Yeah, Gia just texted me. She's like, Mom, I'm starving. How long is this meeting? I said 8:30, and she's like, are you kidding me? She's so funny. I don't know. Let's see. I don't even know where she went. Remember Jonas somewhere? Don't wreck the school. They went outside, yeah. Okay. Okay, everybody, we are going to, oh, where's Jason? Okay. It's okay, we can continue without him. We are going to move right into the rest of the meeting. At this time, we're just going to take note of the 2 communications on the agenda, and then we're going to go right into our board liaison reports. We are going to start with Mrs. Sarah Horowitz with the Parent Advisory Committee.
I have no updates for the Parent Advisory Committee.
That's fine, thank you. Also, the PTO?
A couple things. So as the school year winds down, we're approaching the end of PTO activities. The final general meeting was held this morning. New members were voted in to serve on the PTO Executive Board. We'd like to extend a warm welcome to the incoming board members and express our deep gratitude to the outgoing board for their dedication, leadership, and countless hours of service. There's still time to sign up for the 8th grade dance. We're currently at 95% registration. The 5th grade moving up party will take place on June 19th during school hours. We're also happy to share that the 2nd grade carnival was a great success. Thank you to everyone who came out and helped to make this such a fun event for the students. PTO registration for 25-26 school year will open in August. Please remember that registration is required every year, so please make sure you consider getting involved. Lastly, just want to thank the PTO for everything that they do for our schools, our teachers, our students. This year was filled with so many incredible events. Their generous support and meaningful contributions that they've made a lasting impact on our school community, and we really couldn't have done anything without them. That's it.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Horowitz. Do we know who took the president, vice president? I know Mrs. Sam Amato, she gave, I think 4 years, I think she was at her tenure, and I wanted to thank her for all the hard work she's done over the years. I don't know many of the ladies on the PTO, I do know her, so I want to extend a warm thank you and appreciation from this board for all the dedicated hours she's put in. I'm not sure who took her place, do you know? Okay, that's all right. We'll report out next meeting. No worries. Thank you. And thank you to all the other PTO ladies. We appreciate it. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township Schools newsletter. Mrs. Camera?
Just that the summer publication will be published right around mid-July.
Great, thank you. Moving along, obviously it's towards the end of the year. Things have been very quiet, so I don't expect much lengthy reports. Colts Neck Township Schools, Arts, Sports, and Extracurricular. Mr. Rignetta?
Thank you. Just a couple of things. Last night, 69 Cedar Drive Middle School and Conover Road Elementary School students, singers, sang with thousands of other students at the Prudential Center as participants in the American Youth Voices concert. I saw pictures. I expressed people to go and look at pictures and video that's up on Colts Neck Township Schools Facebook because they did an amazing job. The pictures look great. The kids sounded great. There was thousands of kids there singing all together in harmony, which was great, and did a great job. And all the videos are up too. So go and see that. They did a great job. I'm sure Dr. Garabay would probably talk a little bit more about it. Saturday will be the father-daughter dance. You can still sign up at coltsnecksportsfoundation.com. It's going to take place at Trump National from 4 to 8, and it's $160 for the father and daughter, and every additional child is another $75. And also, I just want to congratulate all the people, students, and members and coaches who participated in flag football this season. And congratulations on everyone who won the Super Bowl and participated in the Super Bowl. It's a great feat just even getting there, and look forward to next year. Congratulations.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Rignetta. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township Committee, Phyllis Camera and Brian Scarpa.
And thank you. I attended the meeting on May 28th, last Wednesday. There was an executive session that kicked off at 6:30 p.m. and shortly thereafter there was a resolution by the township to adopt, or actually they specifically removed the planning board member pursuant to a decree. I'll leave the personnel matters out. The annual audit for 2024 was reviewed and approved, the details of which were presented by the CFO. Again, they went into executive session, and there's a regular meeting associated with it with new business agenda. There was a few resolutions that were passed specific to the annual audit, the approval of the fireworks display on July 3rd, and the purchase of some computer tablets for the fire department, just some maintenance and normal business operations of the town. And the next meeting will be on Wednesday, June 11th at 7 p.m.
Great. Mrs. Cameron, would you like to add anything?
Yes, so first I want to discuss the Memorial Day Parade. It was a patriotic success, so congratulations to everyone who made this Memorial Day Parade a meaningful tribute. So the event brought together our entire community, the Colts Neck Police, Fire Departments, the Colts Neck High School ROTC, Marching Band, the Women's Club, our neighborhood churches, the Lions Club, of course our Colts kids on bikes, students representing football, cheer, Girl Scouts Club, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, the Colts Neck Sports Foundation, the Trail Riders, all proudly participated. So special thanks to the Department of Public Works and all the incredible volunteers who work behind the scenes to make it possible. The next thing is that in the Environmental Commission outreach is trying to recruit younger families to get involved. They shared information with all our school principals, and the board is encouraging families to consider participating. They did mention that National Night Out is not till Tuesday, August 5th, but I'm just sharing that now. It was rained out the last 2 times, so hopefully it works this time. And of course, early voting is now open. Early voting began yesterday. It runs through Saturday, June 8th. Voting hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. right here at the Colts Neck Library, so please make your voice heard.
Great. Thank you for covering all that, Mrs. Cameron. Okay, moving on to the Colts Neck Township senior citizens. Mr. Walsh?
Sure. The seniors summer concert series kicks off this Thursday. Really good. I may actually attend with a lawn chair or 2. And that's starts at 7 o'clock. It's right behind Town Hall. It's a tradition in our town that the seniors come out when they put the concerts on. So I encourage the seniors to come out. They have a trip coming up. They just had a meeting today at the Colts Neck Inn. Their meetings are the first Wednesday of each month. They have a trip coming next week, Top Hat in LBI, and July 10th, a River Queen cruise, which is, I believe, in Brielle. It's a nice trip. I've been on it. And that's pretty much it. We're coming into the summer season, so there won't be too much activity.
Great. I'd like to extend a thank you to Frank Sikorkis. How do you say his name? I apologize if I'm not saying his name. He works with me every year at the Firehouse 1 doing the election polls. So if you want to extend a thank you from our Board of Education for all the community service he puts in as well for our town.
I will.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, moving on. Naval Weapons Station Earl, Mrs. Ramirez and Mr. Scarpa.
Me? All right, me
Yeah.
first. All right.
Yeah.
So a few meetings ago, we had spoken about doing a commemorative or student memory project here for some of our military students that are leaving our district. And so we had to do some research on that and, of course, work with our Naval Weapons Station Earl liaison, Ida, and she did confirm that there's actually no other school district in this area that does any type of project like that. So we're excited to hopefully be able to bring something like that to Colts Neck. So we're working with not only Naval Weapons Station Earl staff and personnel, but also our facilities manager, Nick Moretta, and our administrative team here to kind of fine tune and figure out something that we can do here. This might take a little bit of time because we have to be considerate that it needs to be something that can be done in a very short time frame because when these students and their families get notice that they're going to be leaving, they don't, they're busy, they're packing up their things, and so we're going to hopefully be able to find something that potentially we can implement this school year, but if not, for sure next year. So stay tuned for more details on that.
Great, thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Scarpa? I think your mic is off.
Thank you. Dr. Garibay met earlier actually late last month with Ms. Ida West-Jones and Ms. Reynolds to discuss the potential field trip to the weapons station. The dates for the field trip to the tour of the base are forthcoming, but they are in the works. We will communicate that way in advance for this trip as this framework gets developed. And this trip is a first of its kind. It's promising to be a unique experience for both the students and teachers alike. And we will continue to update the public and the school base as this trip builds out. So more to come in that space.
Great, thank you very much, Mr. Scarpa. Moving on to the New Jersey school boards. We have the Unsung Superhero in Education Awards coming up. This award actually spotlights some of the most important yet many times overlooked parts of school districts. I can't name them all, but it consists of bus drivers, nurses, paras, security, custodians, etc. The winner will be recognized at the New Jersey School Board's workshop, October 20th through the 23rd. If anybody would like to submit a nomination, please do so by June 3rd. Submission forms can be found in your New Jersey School Board's emails dated on June 3rd. Reminder, the AI conference is going to be this Friday, June 6th at Mercer County College, 9:30 to 3:30. It's a $119 registration fee, and I believe you can still register. I'm not sure, it's a little tight, but I think you can still register for that. June 26th, we have the Spring Law Forum. That will be at the Hilton Monroe Township, 9 to 4. It's a little pricey, actually. It's $299 a member. Non-members are $598. That will feature some law case studies, legislative updates, and school attorney ethics. And that concludes my report on New Jersey school boards. Moving on to the Colts Neck Township Board of Education liaisons to the Township Planning Board, Mr. Walsh and Mr. Scales.
Rob, I'll let you take it away.
You got it. So we had a successful meeting on the 29th. The subcommittee is making substantial moves to help the town with a presentation to the Town Planning Board. The Town Planning Board will then be making a presentation to the Township Committee. This report will essentially have recommendations of what our subcommittee that constituted a number of different people, stakeholders from around Colts Neck, will be presenting that to the town actually in this building on the 9th, and then that will be presented in public forum on the 11th. So once that is actually presented to the public, then the copy of that report will be made public for everyone that's on the board. And then once I have a copy of that, I'll be able to give it to all of you, and then I'll be able to update the fact sheets that we have presented as well on our websites. So more to come. That's, again, June 9th. That is going to be when we are presenting to the Township Committee, and then 11th Township Committee presenting to the public.
Rob, could you highlight the tax impact for the projected student population? I know
Yeah.
you came out and figured you furnished it to the Township Committee.
Yep.
And Dr. Garibay, I'm sure you're aware. We'll share with everybody.
Yeah. So you're talking about the estimated revenue for
Yes.
the district? Yeah.
Right.
So the estimated revenue for the district is $1,609,978. So that, again, is based off of our information that we've done as a board. So that is what we're expecting to come out of round 3, which is the Levana Square. So what we're presenting on to the town is what the obligation of round 4 is going to be. So there's been no tax projections from round 4 because we don't know necessarily what units are going to be built for round 4. But the obligation, which is called a deferred obligation from round 3, that was satisfied. So that's going to be moved to round 4. So you will see that in the report. Once the town puts a stamp of approval on that, and we know what sites will be built and what the potential future plans will be, we can then now, because we've done the previous work, apply those same formulas to the land or the units that are going to be built, and then we'll be able to figure out what the next tax implications will be for the district. So this is what we're expecting. Again, we have to work with the town assessor. The town assessor does things in waves. So to be frank, right now, even though there's a substantial amount of construction being built right now in Levana Square, if you've driven by it, it's almost halfway done. They do not pay a penny of taxes until that's reassessed. So right now, they're paying the same amount of tax that was the original assessment on that farmland that they've been paying for the last 20 years. But the good news is there's no impact to the district until that's complete. And then once that's complete, you'll see that in the next quarter, the quarter after that, once those tax bills come in. But that's going to be what our subcommittee is going to continue to do. We're going to have to continue to work with the town to find out what the implication would be and put pressure to make sure that we're getting every dollar out of there and that duly goes to the school as it should. So.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Just as a reminder, the option for the board, now that there's more known with regard to the obligation, is to update the demographic study based on the fourth round. So that would be something we probably would want to get information.
Did we as a board approve that study? I believe we did.
The update to the
Yes.
study? I think we waited until the fourth round. I think that was the
Yep.
recommendation from the demographer, was to wait until that. But if that's okay, we can reach out to them, put that in motion to do that update.
I don't think we should wait. I think we should.
Yeah, Mr. Bezzetta, I don't think I saw him, but Mr. Bezzetta, during one of the meetings, which there'll hopefully be in the report, you'll see sort of what the future holds for that study, but we've got a commitment from the town to help us with an additional study. So taking what we did from Rutgers and the previous study has to be taken into consideration. As you see from the fact sheet that we have a real life example. The real life example is the grant, right? So they originally had estimated only 15 students, but the real life example is that there's 45 there. So we can apply those same metrics from that real world example, apply that to Levana Square, and then that should give us, essentially you have this, the study that we've done and the study that the scientists, if you will, have done. So that'll give us a good indication of where hopefully we should land softly in the middle. I'm hoping somewhere there. So. That's it from my side.
This section too. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. And Rob, I appreciate that. Let's move on to buildings and grounds. I see we have nothing there. Communications, nothing at this time. Moving right into curriculum. Mrs. Camera.
Okay. Item number 1, the completion of the 2025 NJSLA and final refusal data. So testing is complete for the 2025 spring NJSLA assessment. At Cedar Drive Middle School, there were a total of 22 refusals compared to 51 refusals in the 2024 spring NJSLA assessment. So this is a 57% reduction in refusals. At Conover Road Elementary School, there was a total of 10 refusals compared to the 18 in the 2024 spring NJSLA assessment. This is a 44% reduction in refusals, and there's no irregularities in testing. Any comments on number 1? Okay. Number 2 is the 2025 summer assignments. The summer work for students will be available on the district website after tonight's meeting. The purpose, as per Erica Reynolds, is for students to build responsibility, time management, and academic readiness for the upcoming school year. Any questions, please reach out and contact Dr. Erica Reynolds, Director of Curriculum at reynolds@coltsneckschools.org. The assignment guidelines for grades K to 5, all assignments are optional. For grades 6 to 8, math is optional. Grades 6 to 8, language arts is required, and it's due Friday, September 5th, 2025. Okay, anything else? Any comments for number 2? Okay. Number 3, I sent, if everyone who has their computer or phone, I sent out some information. If you could go to my email, and that way you can see a copy of what I'm going to be presenting. Okay. So this is an inquiry and investigation. We're not going to make any decisions tonight. It just lays out 2 different ideas into using SAVIS mathematical benchmarks compared to what we're using right now, which is the MAP assessments, the NWEA MAP assessments. So it starts with a comparison in terms of criteria. So SAVIS is aligned to our district. The map testing is not. SAVIS is our math program, while, the map testing is a nationally normed test. So we're comparing our students' scores to the whole nation, and then we get a percentile based on the entire nation. SAVIS has high alignment to the NJSLA, while map testing has moderate. There is no cost to SAVIS, it's part of the program already, while map testing has an additional cost. SAVIS is integrated into our current instruction, while map testing is separate additional setup and training. SAVIS provides a lot of instructional level feedback to the different units, and again, the map testing is these national norm scores. So you could kind of skim through the rest. Again, SAVIS, it's limited year over year, it's the growth data, while the map testing, it shows measurement over time, and they're both used pretty much the same frequency, 3 times a year. So there's some advantages and disadvantages to both. With the SAVIS benchmark, some of the advantages, it's already integrated into what the teachers are doing. Again, like I said, there's no additional cost. What I really like is the high alignment with the NJSLA, which is what we want to do. We were trying to attain blue ribbon status, and it's easier for teachers to use in terms of the instructional next steps, right? Some of the disadvantages, it's not as helpful for broader growth comparisons. It's limited ability to compare students' growth over time or across school districts, and it may lack validity for evaluating students not performing on grade level. The advantages to the map testing, it's again normed, it's adaptive, it adjusts to each student's level, it gives clear growth data, it helps students identify if they're below grade level. The disadvantage, again, is that additional cost. It's not tied to our district's curriculum pacing. It does require additional professional development to interpret the results, and it does not align as closely with NJSLA. So there's some more additional information that I went through, but the one I really want to highlight is our goal as a board, right, is this blue ribbon school status. We've said that numerous times. And it rewards measurable academic excellence. So by using SAVIS benchmarks, right, we are practicing the format, the question types, the timing. There is an advantage with using this for blue ribbon, to help us achieve blue ribbon status. Obviously, there's the financial aspect as well, which I've mentioned quite a few times now. So I would like to discuss this tonight. We don't have to finish the discussion tonight because I just kind of wrote this up today. And Dr. Reynolds helped me with this, so we worked, she gave me a blueprint and then I went on. But I am leaning toward us going this direction just because of it's another tool for helping us, I believe, achieve blue ribbon status. So we could continue this discussion at another date if anyone wants to just, comment now. I'm fine with that, but there's a lot of information. It's like 4 pages, pros, cons, different bullet points. So I just wanted to present it, and if anyone wants to, talk about it now or wait till our next CAL meeting, so you have more time.
Sorry, it's like a journey to get the microphone down here. So I'd really be interested to hear what Dr. Reynolds has to say about this. Obviously, Phyllis, I know your background is in teaching and whatnot, and so it's obviously, I feel like it's easy for you to look at this and probably, pull out some of that information, but for someone who's not in education professionally, I'd be interested to hear what someone who is, and specifically in our district, has to say about how they feel about it. I love that we could potentially save some money doing this, but I want to make sure that it's not at the detriment of our students, of course. If it brings us closer to blue ribbon status, that's great. But again, I think that there's a bigger picture here. Because we didn't get this until recently, I didn't have a lot of time to digest it, obviously, and I know we don't have to, decide anything tonight, right? So I'd like some more time to look it over, but then perhaps Dr. Reynolds could kind of give her opinion, and maybe she can type up something for us or present something to the board for us to kind of, compare and contrast here to kind of get more of a nitty-gritty. Just at a quick glance, this looks like it's a great overview of some, key pros and cons. But I think that, like in most professions, I'm sure there's a lot more to be said and a lot more details. So I'd like to hear from her, and have her kind of pull some of the teachers that are impacted by it as well.
Yes, and really, the whole beginning is all her. If you look closely, this was all what she had given me. The comparison is all her. The pros and cons was her, and then the bullet points. Some of them kind of go into my opinion as well as what she gave me some information on. So just so you know, this was worked on with her, not so just so she is giving some information. But I love that idea. So maybe she'll be able to give a presentation or something else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I think on Thursday of last week, when we had presented the topics, Dr. Reynolds presented a separate document for all of the topics of discussion. So I have no problem if you'd like, Mrs. Kemmer, I can send that to the board on behalf, like as a follow-up conversation, and to see what Dr. Reynolds had provided for the purposes of this conversation. Obviously, if we are making any recommendations for changes regarding formative assessment, we want teacher input, we want all of those things, because there's been, just from a historical point of view, much of what we do stems from our placements for all of those things on formative assessment on NWF maps. So it's one of those decisions, in my professional opinion, that is the canoe versus the cruise line, where you don't want to turn anything too quick because it's going to capsize, but you can canoe, as you would in a canoe when you're making a faster decision, right? So I think that we have to do it with purpose. We have to do it with, for all the reasons, with all factors considered. And with regard to, the one thing with looking at professional development, our teachers have received professional, it's embedded in their practice of how they look at multiple forms of assessment. So yes, I will provide the board and any, additional conversations if we want Dr. Reynolds to come to a future Cal meeting, or whatever information provide from also Mrs. Kennis, our math coach, with regard to it, and whatever information you want, and continue the conversation. Yeah.
Could I also ask that we discuss timing? So if we were to switch over to something, just like when we've switched over to different, vendors or programs, sometimes there's a timing consideration there. So is, next school year the best time to be switching over, or is there, a better time? So if that could be included in part of that deeper conversation, I think that would be helpful for us as well as the board to consider.
Right, and what is good to know is it's pretty much aligned at the same timing. The way SAVIS works, it's topics 1 through 4. You have your first benchmark, then it's 1 through 8. You have your second benchmark, then it's 1 through 12. So it's constantly giving data and great information throughout the year. But, absolutely, it could be something in 2 years from now, but I like that starting point, so.
Great, thanks.
Oh, up again. Okay. Anyone else for number 4? Okay. All right, number 5, this was presented to me by a Colts Neck resident, so I want to give full credit to Alan Ryan. It's called Tunnel for Towers, the 9/11 Institute. It's an educational initiative by Tunnel to Towers Foundation. It's dedicated to teaching students across the United States about the events of September 11th and honoring the heroism of first responders and civilians. So if maybe over the next few weeks, again, we can look at the different websites for Tunnel for. Oh, okay.
So great minds also think alike. A parent approached us in the fall about this, and Dr. Reynolds actually said in a training session in November of 2024, I think it was reported out at that time, I can go back and look, and then we also just received the broadcast, actually it was on May 28th, the 9/11 Memorial Museum offers free professional development to teachers, and one of our social studies teachers is already registered, Mr. Joseph Treasy, is already registered for the professional development over the summer, with possibly to come. So we're, it's as, when the planets align and more thinking and different things go on, absolutely. So, yep, so that's it.
Quick question.
Great.
Is this the one with the, is the museum on, like, in a bus?
Yeah, so one part of it is the mobile exhibit, the traveling exhibit that brings the history and impact of 9/11 directly to communities. That's one part of it. It has artifacts, stories. Another part of it is developed with educators, right, where they are teaching our students about first-person accounts. There's lesson plans for them. There's an entire book series that goes along with it. And then there's speakers that can come again to our schools and share personal experiences, which kind of reminded me of what Sarah wants to do with the Holocaust program. It's just making it, bringing it to life for our students so they really understand the devastation and what happened. So, okay, anyone else for number 5, Tunnel for Two Towers? Okay.
I would just add, we had seven families that lost loved ones when that attack occurred. And I remember doing notifications to the door, so something never to forget. And I think our student population would benefit from them visiting our school.
Okay, and the last thing is just something we had started discussing. In addition to our SAVIS math program, our IXL math, looking at ST math or other supplemental math programs for the 25-26 school year. Everyone on the board knows that I would love to start in the primary school ST math, really focusing on our ELL population, our English as a second language population, our tier population, our IEP population. It does not replace SAVIS. It really just reinforces and extends what students are learning through exploration and problem solving. And because there is no reading, right? There's no reading at all. There's no problem solving. It really is the conceptual aspect of math. So I know we did a trial. We did it sort of, they got a very small section, which I'm glad you explained to me. So that you really have to start the program from the beginning, and the best way to start it is with our youngest children. There are some other supplemental programs that also are excellent, but I really believe, based on my own personal experience, that this program is exceptional, and it is, within our budget, we have the ability to spend the money on it. So it is something that I don't know how we can move forward with it, or, you know how I feel about it, but.
Sure. I know Dr. Reynolds was actually working with Mrs. Lindonio, our ML teacher, responsible for the ELL program, implementation of the program, who was working in a very similar way, analyzing it. So, we may explore that. We're likely going to be exploring that with our ELL MLs next year as an option. But one of the things we did do in the dialogues that have happened at the dais, we did reach out and looked at our specific subgroups of the data that's available through the state reporting system, districts similar to ours, who were, based on the data available through the Department of Education website and performance reports, looked specifically at districts like ours in our area that were outperforming us in areas of special education. And we reached out to those districts directly to see what they're working, and many of them are using a program called Touch Math. And so Dr. Reynolds has been in contact with Touch Math, and we're following a very similar comparative process for Touch Math as we did with ST Math. So it's the end of the year, people are working through it, so we're looking at potentially proposing something to the board as early as July to say this is what we're going to be adding, as options for our students and staff to use with our kiddos.
Great. So that's, anyone else? Any comments on ST or supplemental math programs?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's it for today under curriculum. Obviously, we'll continue discussing both 3 and 6. So thank you.
Okay, great. Oops, did you? I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
But you did.
I did. Okay, sorry. A little bit longer. So the school applied, submitted an application for what's called Focus Grant. It's funding for optimal comprehensive universal screeners. So it's a grant applied for through the New Jersey Department of Education. And if awarded, this grant will help schools better identify students who may need extra help in literacy or math. And by applying for this grant, the district is aiming to secure funding that will help expand research-based universal screening tools, train staff in data interpretation, improve the early identification of students at risk, and strengthen our Tier 1 and Tier 2 and 3 interventions. Okay, so I guess we will hear, well, actually, I'll pass it to you if you know when we'll hear. Sorry.
So this was an allocation grant. Each district in the Notice of Grant Opportunity that was published by the Department of Education was awarded a specific amount, designated amount, that if you apply for it and the application fits the criteria, you would receive that amount. So our amount for Colts Neck is $4,150 as per the Department of Education, and our application affords us an opportunity to have another teacher trained in Orton Gillingham, which, as Mrs. Camera said, is one of our tiered intervention programs for our students in literacy. So having that flexibility is the implementation and professional development that they're looking to support with our screeners. Our universal dyslexia screener, DIBBLS, is something we have. It is one of the Department of Education's recommended screeners for dyslexia, and so we're looking to enhance our responses to early literacy in accordance with the NGO. So fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll hear about that soon.
Great. Thank you both very much. Phil, is that? Okay. No worries. Moving on, there's nothing under finance tonight. Moving into policy, Mr. Scales.
Yep. So 3 items. Number 1, bylaw 0155.2. That's just a formality, adding the verbiage for Mr. Walsh and myself. So that liaison position to the subcommittee, to the town COA subcommittee, is officially listed in our bylaws. Number 2, board review process. I could let Dr. Garibay drop that bomb on everyone, what we're going to ask you to do, and then I'll add some color commentary. How about that?
Okay, so we in my weekly updates, and Mr. Marasco and I prepare each week. There's at the last section is policy, and as we know, we've been doing the transition from Strauss SMA to and JSBA. The bylaws are now available, and there are links in the update to where there was language. It's a complete crosswalk, which is identified in the update, which talks about what bylaws are now, the entire bylaws section, is ready for board review. So I think Mr. Scarpa and I were thinking of requesting the board to have a deadline of review of the new bylaws to determine an agreement. The bylaws are obviously the operating structure of the Board of Education, so that's why we prioritize the bylaws for the board. The administration is currently working in students. I'm working with Mr. Marasco for finance and operations and all of those things. So administration is near done, but you'll see in the links in the update that go out that there is specific language that is identified in each one of the bylaws, that a word or two may be different in a specific bylaw, but that word or two makes a difference. For example, in a school board's bylaw, they use the word may. In the current Strauss Esme bylaw, it says shall. So big difference between a may and shall, as we all know. So those are the type of small nuances. In the process of reviewing all of the bylaws, I was able to identify that each one has been captured. There wasn't one that was omitted or left out of those bylaws. So that's why at this point in time, that's why the bylaws are in fact ready for board review. So Mr. Scarpa, I don't know if you gave any thought I'm sorry, Scales, excuse me. I just looked at Mr. Scarpa. I just looked right at you, so I apologize.
It's all his fault.
I didn't know if you gave thought or consideration to the review of the bylaws. I know it's a busy time of year. In the interim, just so we know, so we're not in feeling a big crunch for time, because it is a lengthy process and it requires many eyes. We do have a plan in place for the PDF upload of our current policies, even though Strauss Esme won't be our curriculum policy provider. We do have a plan in place that I'm working with Dominic Petrello and Mr. Capasso to have all of our current policies remain in place until the board readopts everything. So we can either make a decision as a board and with Mr. Scales' direction to say a recommendation recommendations to say we're going to do one big swooping adoption of all new bylaws and policies, or do we want to do them section by section? I think it's worth a conversation of the board, and that will help us kind of structure our work as well as timeline, and I'm going to give that to you, Mr.
So a rising tide raises all ships, as I like to say. So we need all your help. But in a serious note, I mean, it's good because it allows us to pull back all the layers of the onion. So just to Dr. Garabay's point, like there's a little bit of a verbiage adjustment for some things that, again, just by law, it's a substantial difference by the way that someone could interpret something. So we've done a once over, and then we'll highlight. I don't think we need to do like a fail swoop of stuff, because I think that's when you try to do everything all at once, you could miss something. So I think by calling upon, as I'll say, one team, one dream, sort of the sections that you kind of oversee on your committees, we'll distribute that to you so you can review it and then see if you have found any errors or inaccuracies or anything along those lines. And then obviously I'll read over every single word just like I did the other policy handbook and just make sure that we've got everything in there before we go. Last thing we want to do is obviously have something inserted into everything that we've worked hard on and previous boards have worked hard on just because of one similar, or one separate word that was just interpreted differently. So there's a lot of work that we've done as a legislative body that we've added that doesn't have a categorical name or number in there. So then we have to decide, okay, where is that, what section is that going to be listed in? What's the number of that? But we'll prepare it so it's easily digestible for each of you. And then I would assume one of the next cows we can discuss sort of and report back, like if you had found anything, and then just maybe, I don't know how long it would take. I mean, we have 9 sections, so we can't make it 9 action meetings, but maybe we could do like 3 per action meeting or something along those lines, just so it's in chunks rather than just one fail swoop. So
yeah, if we could have maybe almost like the bylaws are encompassing everybody. So I think that if we made a goal and said by the July 9th cow, that all eyes were on bylaws,
There you go.
that we could say, and in the what I prepared in the update, it actually has the specific, I think there's only 4 areas specific where I said these were language changes. And so, for example, but one, there's another one that we're still working through in the student section, that the entrance age is omitted from the attendance policy. So we have to put that back in, that's not a policy. So those are things that the policies that the building administrators and the administrators live by and really do refer to on a regular basis. Those are the eyes that, we put on them in terms of that. So like I said, bylaws are ready to go. And then administration by probably the end of next week, the administrative section. There's a crosswalk which will identify. Currently, I'm working off the table of contents from Strauss Esme and saying, okay, this is now new policy, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. School boards gave us that crosswalk, but I'm doing a cross-reference because I want to see our current policies and see what's now represented, because some of the policies have now been condensed and they identified for us which policy is now captured in what. So it may be what used to be 5 separate policies in Strauss Esme has now been captured in one. But when you're reviewing that, you have to go through those 5 policies, reading that one and seeing where it goes, because we're relatively current with our Strauss Esme policies, and so are they. So we just want to make sure that language, they did a really nice job providing us with the information. Now it's just the editing piece of it, which is fine. Yeah. So I would probably say that we could look at administration and bylaws, by the 9th, and then, as you said, we could divvy out into finance and all the other ones as well.
If I could just make a suggestion, when we reorganized, we have a policy committee. So does it make sense to have our policy committee get together in a room, hunker down, and go through those bylaws, and then present that to the full board in order for us to vote on it? It seems to me that's what the purpose of a policy committee is for something at a large scale like this. It's not, we don't need to, I don't know that it makes efficient sense to delegate to individual committees versus, I think it falls in line with the policy committee for what the purpose of that committee is for. If you look at our bylaws and what their purpose is for a big project like this, it might be very efficient, and then present that to the full board This way then we can kind of take it in those smaller chunks. Just a
Yeah,
suggestion.
I think it's a great idea. I support that. You know, like I said, it will take some time. Nothing's going to happen overnight. But, you know, like I said, we could do it as an ad hoc, since we're a board of a whole,
Yeah.
working as a board of a whole, we'll do like an ad hoc policy committee, and Rob,
There's people that you assign to the policy.
yeah, it's
committee.
Rob, me,
Yeah.
and Phyllis, so,
Yeah,
and
so-
I'm sorry, Mrs. Camera, and Mr. Scales, yeah, and Jason. So, yeah,
Yeah.
we already have it set. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll speak to Rob, and we could set something up.
And I believe you set it up, when you set it up, you said it was for situations like this, so that we didn't have to,
Yeah,
like,
for
you know?
situations, yeah. Thanks for giving us all that work, Mrs. Ramirez.
Wiggling
I
her way
appreciate
out of
that.
it. So- Well, this was supposed to be a joint exercise, so everyone
Yeah, I
could be
know.
engaged.
We were supposed to delegate
Yeah.
sections to everybody.
No, I mean, that's what, I mean, again, honestly, we're.
Jason looks thrilled.
The final, the final review will be, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I get it. Yep.
Um,
Makes total sense.
Okay, all right, thank you for bringing that up, Ms. Ramirez. All right, Mr. Scales, anything else?
Yeah, so the number 3, the draft parental bill of rights, we have a version 2. So we've taken all of the feedback that we received from the parental advisory committee, and we've taken the feedback that we've heard from the general public. We get some wild comments. So just wanted to kind of just bring it to the board's attention and to the public. Just again, I don't mind sounding like a broken record, because I think it's imperative to sound like this when people are trying to digest something that hasn't been done before as a district. But this Bill of Rights, I want to use an example. It's not the best example, but it'll highlight how a Bill of Rights works. The Bill of Rights, especially from this particular parental Bill of Rights, it's not any new policies whatsoever. So I don't know another way to clearly present that to everyone. It's not changing a single thing that we have currently. What it's doing is it is summarizing, and we just presented what we're doing with our new policy holder. It's summarizing all the policies that we have as a district, all the policies that we have as a state, all the policies that we have as a federal government, and it summarizes all of those to present what the rights are to a parent. And then there is governing legislation and laws and policies that branch off of that. So essentially we have worked backwards, like I had mentioned before. If you think about when a judge makes a decision, right, if there is a prosecutor, a defense attorney, and when a judge makes a decision, what do they reference before they make their decision? Do they reference the individual law and policy, or do they reference the Bill of Rights? They reference the individual law and policy, right? So what the Bill of Rights does, it is a foundational document. It's a summary of what your rights are. Some states approve and codify those rights. Some states change those rights. So for example, New Jersey has a lot of changing of the rights that you are granted on the federal level. An example would be the amendment, the Second Amendment. Think about what the Second Amendment is, right? Could I bring a firearm with me into a public building? No. But do I have the right to bear arms? Yes. Right? So what happens is I have a right, but then each individual state legislates and provides a law that is associated to what that Bill of Rights was. If you go and you scroll all the way down to the Bill of Rights and you read the end of it, this says in clear print that this is a document that summarizes all of the rights that parents have and will not supersede any laws that are currently in place. The revisory that we have done with the Parental Advisory Committee requesting is to make it more navigatable, right? So essentially taking the way that the U.S. government lists what the actual Constitution and Bill of Rights is. What they do is they list the Bill of Rights, they provide an index for each of the articles, and then a third layer that we're going to add for something that's more navigatable is then add the specific policy group that section that you can reference as an individual district. If we were to do that for every state and federal law, then it would be a 30-page document for each of the articles. But what we'll be able to do is provide what the right is, and then you have the link to go to the individual section in our policy handbook. So what we've been able to see so far is there's been a little bit of public comment on some things they didn't know about, right? Some rights that they weren't sure that existed. That's exactly what this Bill of Rights is to do, is to show you what your rights are. Are you 100% granted that right in a particular state? Not necessarily. So that's essentially the summary that I have for everything. The revisions in there. Wanted to open the floor, see if anyone has seen the revisions, has any questions, anything along those lines, and we can, I'll take your comments and questions from there.
Go ahead, Mrs. Ramirez.
All right, everyone, buckle up. I got a lot. So some of the stuff that I have here from reviewing this Bill of Rights is their nuances, but I wanted to throw them out there and put it down, document it. Other things are concerns that I have that I think we need to make some revisions. But I wanted to start off by just confirming that at this point, we have not had our board council review this, correct? Okay, so there's some, right. So I imagine it will look something like, and just to confirm for anyone who's wondering, it will look something like, well, the board will say, okay, we're really happy with this, and then we'll send it off to the board council, correct?
Correct. We're trying to save any legal
Of course.
costs.
No, it makes sense.
So, yeah, we're going to make sure
Okay.
everybody's input goes in. We do a final draft. Once we feel okay with everybody, I'll submit it to legal
Perfect.
counsel.
Okay, so there's some things in here that I'm not even going to bring up because I do believe that once our board council reviews some of this stuff, I think there's going to be some things that are going to need to be amended from there. So we'll let the legal teams, deal with that. One of my questions for you, Rob, is I know we keep referring to this as a Bill of Rights, but twice in this current version, you refer to it as this policy. So I think that we need to make a clear distinction. Is this going to be a policy? Is it going to be policy XYZ labeled Parental Bill of Rights, or is this going to be a separate document, the Parental Bill of Rights? And I think that that's important to make that clarification because a policy is subject to different rules and standards when we're talking about adopting it as a board. If this is just a separate standalone document that's going to be handed out, it's something that the board obviously is going to vote on it no matter what, but it's not subject to those same rules and regulations, right? We don't have to do a first and a second read on it necessarily if it's not a policy. So I think it's important to distinguish that and make that clear and consistent in every version, this version and any future ones going forward. So there's two times that you refer to this as this policy XYZ. So I think that, again, it's important for us to take that out. Obviously, the links to the policy need to be in there, I think, prior to us approving it as a board before it gets sent to legal, because I'd like to see the specific policies that are linked to each section, just to confirm and kind of follow the train of thought with that. So that's something that maybe in an updated version we can have in there, is those actual links to those specific policies. And I was wondering if maybe we didn't have those links because maybe we're waiting to have those finalized New Jersey school boards. So I assumed that was probably part of it, but I think, exactly. Yep, I assumed that was probably part of it. All right, let me go on. So in section 3.2, there is in parentheses, it says such as vaccinations administered at school. So that's already legally not allowed. Minors are not allowed to be vaccinated in schools, nor would a school actually administer them as minors. They can't. They have to have parental consent for that. So I just don't know that we need to have that in there. I think that that could potentially be confusing to a parent who's reviewing this, and they might assume that, oh, well, good thing this is written here, because if not, I might actually, my child may actually be able to be vaccinated within the school, which it's not legally allowed to. Section 4.2, this is probably one of my biggest issues with this current version. So as per New Jersey standard 18A 35 4.7, the only types of education that you can opt your child out of legally in the state of New Jersey is health, family life education, or sex education, which we've already stated in 4.1. So in 4.2, I believe this to be confusing, because I think what you're suggesting is that parents have the ability, beyond the health curriculum, beyond the family life education, and beyond the sex education, to opt their child out of any part of the instructional program or specific lesson that conflicts with their sincerely held values or beliefs. And that's not true as per New Jersey law. You're only allowed to opt out of those things. You can't say, well, 2 + 2 conflicts with my moral beliefs. I want my child to be opted out of kindergarten math. So I think that that entire section doesn't need to be in there, because I do think it contradicts New Jersey state law. Or federal law. Well, it's, oh, sorry.
So federal law, there's some states, federal law allows it. So again, when you say me, you mean the federal government. So everything, there is nothing in here that I have changed or added or anything. Again, it's a summary of all federal laws, state laws, local laws, and then it institutes what our individual policy is as a district. So in some cases, federally, it'll be allowed, state, it won't be allowed. And then if you think about what happens is federal law supersedes state law unless the federal government sues the state sues the federal government, goes to Supreme Court. You know how it works. We can't ever go ahead of state law. We can't ever go ahead of federal law. So essentially the pecking order is it's federal, state, and then district policy. So there's going to be some things in there that the state doesn't agree to, that we don't agree to, but again, it is a right to a parent, but do we in the district provide that or codify that right? Not necessarily.
Okay. Can I add one other thing too? I was just thinking of 4.2, it reminded me, in the 8th grade social studies curriculum, they study social issues, and I know that the teachers send home permission slips, because a lot of those books are very controversial, and parents have and do say no to certain of those literature books. So that, that's just an example of when we have that ability as a parent.
So that's the thing, is that again, again, think of it, every time you have a question, it's a pecking order. The federal government, state, the local. So a lot of the questions that you have are granular into, like, the state doesn't allow this, the district doesn't allow that, and you are 100% correct. But what the Bill of Rights does, again, it's law of the land, right? So it's literally the foundation that we build everything off of. So going again back, what happened? The Bill of Rights, Constitution was built, then legislation off of that. We are just working backwards to go back and create the foundation so that future boards now have the foundation to work off of what they think they can legislate and create policies for, and then you submit that to the legal team, and then the legal team will provide you with what the actual law is, if we're allowed to apply it or not.
federal still does not allow you to opt your child out of basic, first grade math. So I hear what you're saying. It doesn't. I hear what you're saying about the specific social studies, and I believe that would probably fall under something to the effect of the family life education. I could be mistaken, but I think that 4.2 saying that any part of the instructional program, it's way too broad and too vague. Again, this is my opinion. Take it for what you think it's worth. I think it's something that we need to maybe dive deeper into, and maybe that's something that needs to be pulled out if it's going to remain in there for our legal counsel to review more closely, because I think that opens us up to a parent coming in and saying, hey, listen, I don't want my kid, and your Bill of Rights says this. And then we're just opening up a can of worms for parents to say, well, your Bill of Rights says this, and I'm going to hold you to this because you said that this is true. And then we have to go back and forth. So maybe there's a way then to change that language to reflect more closely to what aligns with those actual laws.
Jessica, sorry, forgive me if I'm misremembering, but I remember in discussions we had when we were in leadership together, if a parent had a specific question, a specific disagreement with a particular question, say it was a math question, a math word problem question, and had to do with, I'm just putting this out there, it's something to do with maybe global warming, they put in the global warming.
Right.
They had did you say, I remember I was talking about they had the opportunity to talk to a teacher about it, that's saying this particular question, we don't really agree with this question, can we have a different kind of question, or can it be worded different or something like that? Do you remember us talking about that? Can you
Yeah,
clarify
I mean,
that?
that came up a few times. There was various scenarios that I remember us discussing. But I don't believe that that's like a very specific scenario where I know Mary Jane's door is always open. I think that this is
Right, and with
this
this,
is more
we're gonna have
broadly
to get
part
specific.
of any part of an instructional program. That isn't just one word program, a word problem, or something along those lines.
But when
This is part of an instructional program, and
Right.
I think that that's where. And again, maybe we're getting into the nuances.
But this
too
is why we
here,
have to get more
and-
specific with this,
right,
'cause especially if it's
exactly.
one
And this is
question
where
that,
I think something like this again is going to having that direction from our legal counsel. I think is going to be important for that section specifically. We can move on from there.
Just adding on to what Vinny said, it was interesting, but back in September, one of my professional development days was how we are now expected to incorporate climate change problems into our math curriculum. So it does, bounce off to what Vinny's saying, and again, it does support the idea that it could be in conflict with, a family's beliefs and values and beliefs. So, but, again, that's why we will have legal look over
Yeah,
it.
for
But
sure.
it might be bigger than just the health
It could be.
lessons.
It could be.
Because we have literature now. We have the 8th grade curriculum where I know parents have said no to some of the literature that the teachers have provided, and then we have, your views on climate change,
But
which teach their own.
this is what I'll go back to again, is that we're getting granular into the Bill of Rights isn't going to list the specific laws. So, do you have the right to ask your teacher about something? Yes, you do. Is your child or is that parent going to be awarded to pull them out of that? Not necessarily. What does our policy say? That's what. So again, it's the right, federal level, state level. Then what does our individual district say? So again, we're not legislating here. We are summarizing, and then policy supersedes anything that the Bill of Rights has.
Rob, I 100% agree with you. That's why I think that section is contradictory to what you just said, because this is saying that that you're allowed to opt out versus, hey, let's have a conversation with the teacher. Hey, let's discuss this. But again, I don't want to belabor and waste anyone's time here. In section 5.4, you put in parentheses, or when you created the Bill of Rights here, you put such as school resource officers. We don't have SROs. We have SLEO3s. So if we could just change that again. I know that that's a nuance, but I think it's important if we're going to put words in there, they should reflect our actual district. And finally, this is a nuance that's near and dear to my heart, but as a Christian, the first line of this says, do solemnly avow. I could not, in good conscience, vote for anything that says solemnly avow. I think that should be replaced with truly affirm. So again, I know it's a nuance,
Where's
but
that?
the very first line, we the parents of Colts Neck and the Board of Education of Colts Neck do solemnly avow. So as a Christian, I'm not comfortable solemnly avowing to anything other than my faith. So I think we should be changing that to truly affirm, just like I would never solemnly swear either. So just some of my feedback there. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, great. Thank you for everybody's input on that. Any other questions or comments on the policy portion of the agenda? Okay, we're going to move on. Nothing under negotiations, nothing under transportation. And the personnel is just FYIs? Okay, one second. All right. Okay. At this time, we are going to open the floor to comments from the public. You're welcome to get up, state your name and address for the record. You could do so at this time. Oh, here, you can have mine.
I got it.
Two simultaneous
Just snap it in. There we go. Okay. Hi, Julia Garitano, 130 Route 537. I've spoken before, again, about this proposed parental Bill of Rights, and I would just like to actually mirror pretty much everything that Mrs. Ramirez has commented in my latest comments as well, in that I hardly think that we can call the draft that is in this current agenda a revision when there's only just placeholder texts and not the actual policies. Like that was the biggest comment from other parents, and especially at the Parent Advisory Committee, was that the policy links or the policy numbers be referenced so that we can correlate the right back to that policy. Now, I do understand now too that you are in the process of changing, so that's going to, but that kind of would have been a little bit as like a disclaimer at the top, possibly like we are in the middle of policy changes. When our board adopts the new policies, we will have links available rather than like literally nothing is, I went through word by word, nothing is revised apart from just having placeholder text. And after the discussion and the response from last meeting, I found that kind of very disheartening, especially after about the 3.5 to 4 weeks since the first draft was brought out. And I do agree, it is rather difficult to navigate through the policy page. I tried to, because I wanted to try to find those policies myself, as because there was no link, there was no number. And honestly, in what the district policy on the Board of Education page, like the policies, I went through and I couldn't really find one policy that connected to the rights that are written here. So, and really honestly, I think my issue is just calling it a Bill of Rights. If you want it to be a summary, call it the parental policy summary or something instead of a Bill of Rights, because it's not a Bill of Rights. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. I just want to reiterate again, I think you answered the question. The policies, we are in transition, and the book is quite lengthy, and I'm sure if you've seen everything we have to read through, I'll be honest, if I didn't have a team, I certainly couldn't do it. So I appreciate your leniency waiting for that to be done, but we do recognize and we make a mental note of all your comments, and we always appreciate them. So thank you.
My name is Valerie Sudol.
Just pick the mic up so I can't hear you too well.
My name is Valerie Sudol. I live at 126 Route 537 here in Colts Neck. I'm a huge believer in public education. I've been paying for it for more than 50 years as a homeowner through my property taxes. I've found, I've tried to wade through this very dense document. And I would have to comment that no one disputes the right of parents to guide their child's development and values. But parents have always been able to access their child's school records and always been able to consult with teachers. So a lot of this seemed excessive and unnecessary. When parents' rights are supreme, something else could be at risk: children's rights. Children are not property. They have their own experiences and feelings. They're often vulnerable to bullying by contemporaries and even by parents. One contentious bit in this document that I've never heard of being codified in this town before has to do with revealing gender preferences to parents. This could have dire consequences, up to and including suicide. I personally know gay people who never outed themselves to their parents until they were grown to adulthood and out of the parental home. If you want to control the information your child receives about the world, you can homeschool, you can enroll your child in the religious school of your choice, providing you're willing to do it at your expense. Supreme Court decisions have confirmed that no one can be compelled to participate in public education. But they've also reinforced the idea that parents don't have an open license to intrude into the classroom or establish surveillance or control over teachers. Public education, supported by public dollars, is intended to introduce children to the wider world in all of its messy complexity. They will have challenges to face that we can't even predict at this moment, and to deprive them of information about their society is not only harmful, it's futile. Kids are very good at sleuthing out the information that's sequestered from them. They all have phones. Do you really want them to get their sex ed from TikTok or porn sites? And the business about having individually tailored lessons that skirts the unwanted bits. Are we going to have boutique education where 20 parents want this, 6 parents don't want this, 13 more want alternate lesson plans? That way lies chaos, seems to me. Are we going to accommodate everyone's particular views? Flat earthers? Holocaust deniers? People with contrarian ideas that are factually untrue? The world includes gay people, trans people, people of color, people with a wide variety of religious faiths. The lesson we should be learning is not to deny or erase them, but to learn tolerance of that which is different from ourselves. Public education is meant to be the great leveler. It's meant to build community and commonality. There's no more important American ideal than e pluribus unum, from the many, one. The great American experiment is meant to recognize all of us as worthy, all sharing in the blessings of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I would hope that our schools and our schooling reflects this ideal. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for your comment.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Genoya, and I live at 4 Westminster Drive. I have a letter that I wrote a month ago, and we're discussing this again, so I thought I'd just bring it out to the public record. But first, I would like to thank Mrs. Ramirez for reviewing this document and providing substantial feedback that the public can actually hear. I think it's really important that we discuss these things in person, like a COW meeting is supposed to be held, instead of just providing presentations with no commentary. So thank you to Mrs. Ramirez. And here's my letter. Dear board members, I would like to respectfully share my concerns regarding the proposed Parent Bill of Rights, particularly as it stems from Policy 9240. While the intent appears to be increased transparency and engagement, the current draft is confusing and may not serve its purpose effectively in its present form. Are parents aware of their rights? The question remains whether this document is solving a real problem. Most of the rights parents have are already embedded within existing board policies. Instead of creating a new Bill of Rights, it may be more helpful to provide parents with a user-friendly job aid or guide that links directly to relevant policies, which it appears you have placeholders for that, but something that could be shared at orientation or posted on the district's website. This would make navigation much easier for families. Questions for your consideration. There are several operational implications that deserve thorough consideration before this document moves forward. How will this impact existing procedures, especially around parent observations in classrooms? Will all parents be required to complete volunteer training before entering the classroom? If a child is in emotional or behavioral crisis, will school staff, such as counselors, be obligated to contact parents before offering support? Where is the mention of parental responsibilities? Education is a partnership, and mutual expectations should be clear. It appears it has still not gone through legal review, which I don't understand why, but moving forward, I hope it does. And I think we also need to talk about clarifying roles. I think it's important to understand the difference between the roles of the Board of Education and the superintendent. The board defines the what, setting policy and direction, and the superintendent and administration administer the how, implementing policy in ways that are educationally sound and legally compliant. Micromanaging implementation risks overstepping and complicating effective governance. In summary, if the necessary information already exists in current policies, the best course of action may be to focus on communication and accessibility rather than creating a new document. A collaborative, informed approach grounded in clarity of roles will ultimately serve our students and community best. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration.
Great. Thank you for your comments. I just want to reiterate again that we have not submitted this to legal counsel just for the fact of keeping legal costs down. We figured we would get all the input first, go through all the studies, board input, public input, and then we would present a final copy. And then at that point, we would take the recommendations for legal. There's no point in, legal costs are quite high, so there's no point in every change we do, submit a copy. So I think it's the smartest way to basically produce the document in its entirety and then present it to legal at that time. But there's no policy or anything we do that we would present without legal authority. We wouldn't do that. We're not a reckless board here. If people know how frugal I am, I'm clearly not going to sit here and risk getting into a lawsuit or anything like that. Everything will be done appropriately. So thank you for your comment. Anybody else?
Good evening, Mallory Reardon, 165 Laird Road. I actually just had a question in a different vein. I was at the meeting for the budget presentation, and I know that you guys work very hard not to raise taxes. As a taxpayer, I appreciate that. Thank you. And but I also know that we were getting less money than previously. So I was just wondering, is there a way for the public to know if there are like expenses that you guys maybe have to like kind of kick the can down the road, or if there were any programs that had to be cut back a little bit, maybe not eliminated, but maybe things were cut back? It seemed like if funds were less and we're not raising money, then some cuts had to be made or expenses had to be pushed down the road. So I was just curious if there's a way for the public to know that.
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm going to pass it off to Dr. Garibay, but, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we looked into our line of expenses, and we have been cutting expenses. So, and it hasn't affected, anything to do with the teachers, the aides, nothing. So we have been looking at insurances, we have been looking at all of our big ticket line items, and we've been going through them one by one. We have been sending out RFPs to bid to see if we can do any better, but as of last year, we were able to reduce north of $500,000 worth of health costs, so that helped us a lot. I know Vince had, we were able to move money into a higher interest-bearing account, so that helped us out a lot as well. I think that was, Vince, correct me if I'm wrong, but north of about $500,000 extra in interest as well. Right. Yeah, but that we budgeted for, correct, but that is also something that we didn't have in the past as well. We were able to also this year as well, we were able to collaborate with Dr. Garibay and reduce some expenses also. So these expenses roughly, I would say, over the past 2 years are a little north of $1 million in either added revenue and reducing expenses. So roughly, yeah, over $1 million in the past 2 years. So we haven't had to cut We haven't had to cut anything. You know, the summer bridge program is still there. We have all of our programs. The summer bridge, we got as a grant, right, from the state of New Jersey. That money's gone, but thanks to these cuts that we've made, we were able to keep the summer bridge program and all of our other programs across the board. So.
Okay,
Yep.
that's great information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you want to add anything?
Yeah. So I think that there's always conversations in the finance committee that, you know, it's about, as we say every year, your budget is a statement of your priorities, right? And balancing the goals of the board with the priorities and the operations of the district, right? And looking for ways to save money. You know, we always look at it in terms of when things are funded through public entities, right? It's a public entity. You're always looking for your return on your investment, right? So if you're looking at programs, you're looking at staffing, you're looking at usage, you're using at like all of the things, right? What is getting us our return on our investments, right? Is what we're doing. I think that there's always, when we look at stuff, you look at in terms of less spending, but balance it also with CPI. We're not, you know, immune from rising costs and all of the things. So to add to what Mr. Arrico said, you know, we balance what can we do this year, and there were things that we added this year. So as Mr. Arrico said, Summer Bridge was 100% grant funded. It's 100% locally funded this year. Does the program look a little bit different? It sure does, but it's still a program. It's still a program that we're very proud of. So it's modified to still fit within the parameters of the goal of, you know, asking for the same amount of money that we've asked for the past 2 years. We've added another section of a teacher. We've added a teacher in 4th grade at the elementary school for the enrollment pieces. So I think whenever we're looking at those types of things, we look at it in, you know, appropriations and revenues. Right, Mr. Resco? That's something that what you learn in BA Class 101, right? Where you're looking at what do you have and what are you spending it on. Are there things that we're not doing yet? Of course there are, but that's part of an annual conversation in every budget year development. When things come up like roofing projects or things that are unexpected, the board does have a responsibility with the administration to plan for those things. We put money in reserves when we're able to do it. We tap into aids that were you know, accessible to us. We are very fortunate to be part of the National Association for Military Affiliated Schools. We receive impact aid. You know, that has been steady and something that we watch very carefully at the national level with news that are incoming with that. Budgeting part of that. We receive some extraordinary aid for our students with disabilities that we utilize for different things. So I think it is always, you know, as Mr. Arrico said, going line by line by line by line is something. But when it comes to the school buildings, when it comes to the program itself, you know, collectively you work to maintain that, right? You want to maintain the priority, you want to maintain the infrastructure, you want to maintain the product, right? And if you can produce a product to which you can be satisfied, whenever you're investing or whatever you're removing or whatever the recommendation winds up being, you are, you know, looking at it as an opportunity. The best thing about an annual budget is just that, annual. So if we need something next year, we ask for it next year. If we don't, if it's in place this year because it's necessary this year, it might be a one-year thing. It might be something that is long-term. You know, it's always part of what are we doing that's supporting allocating finances for our strategic plan, right? How are we invested in terms of that? How are we in terms of goals? What is you know, how are we being advised by our professional services with things? So lots and lots of considerations regarding the decisions and conversations that go on, and with getting to yes is a collaborative effort at the end of the day when it comes to a vote on a budget. So I think that it's a give and take, it's a compromising, it's getting to yes, and it's prioritizing the needs of the students. Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to do on a regular annual basis. So, I'm going to provide anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Anybody else like to make a public comment? Anybody else? Okay. All right, we're going to close public comment at this time. We're moving on to new business. Does anybody have any new business this evening? Yes, Mrs. Horowitz?
It's not really new business, but I had the pleasure to go to the, do you hear me okay? To go to the survivor lunch with Dr. Garibay today, and I just wrote some things. I just want to share a little bit of my feedback. So this morning, as I mentioned, Dr. Garibay and I, closer, okay, sorry. Today, I had the opportunity to join Dr. Garibay for the survivor lunch, and it was extremely moving, and it was really an unforgettable experience. I was really impressed with the students, their maturity, their empathy, the thoughtful questions that they asked were nothing short of inspiring. Discussing the Holocaust is never easy, and hearing firsthand the accounts, firsthand accounts made it even more emotional and powerful. The students listened with compassion and engaged in meaningful, respectful conversations that showed their deep understanding and their care. What made the event even more remarkable is that not many school districts are offering this to their students. The fact that Colts Neck has been doing this for over 15 years, right? 15 years is a testament to the incredible leadership, dedication, and commitment of our administration, teachers, and staff. It speaks volumes to the values upheld in our district. Today is also Holocaust Survivor Day, a time to honor the courage and resilience of those who lived through one of history's darkest chapters. By listening and sharing these stories, we're reminded that we must never forget. These powerful moments of remembrance help ensure the lessons of the Holocaust to continue to resonate with future generations. I'm so grateful that I was able to join you at this lunch, and want to thank Dr. Rigby as well for allowing me to be a part of it. And this really reminded me once again how proud I am to be part of this community. Thank you.
Great, that was so nice. Thank you, Mrs. Horowitz, for sharing your experience. Thank you. Anybody else? I just want to make a shout out to Mr. Walker, the art teacher at Cedar Drive. I attended the art show, I think it was Thursday, last Tuesday. The children did a fantastic job with their artwork. It was displayed so nicely, and I appreciate them staying late hours so the parents can share in that experience. So thank you to Mr. Walker. Anybody else? Okay, we are canceling the executive session at this time. There's no need for it, so that will be canceled for this evening. And at this time, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Great. Thank you. Roll call. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, go ahead. Great. Thank you. My daughters. Wait, let me shut this.